Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bachi Boys podcast. We have a lot to get to. We have Sweet 16, Elite 8, more college basketball. We have women's college basketball to get to. By the way, opening day was last week. Joel Embiid is back. There is so much to get to, and it all starts right now. Stay tuned. Davis, welcome back to the Bachi Boys podcast. Dude, we went on a bit of a hiatus of sorts. We're at daybreak. I had some homework to do. It is what it is. But it's time to recap the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, brother. We have so much to get to. It's April 2nd, by the way. Happy post-April Fools. Hopefully you get freaking fooled. I definitely did. I get freaking got every year.
Definitely
Every
got fooled.
Definitely. All right, Davis, let's hop right into the madness. We have the Final Four. We have everything set in stone. How we got here is another thing entirely. Let's state the obvious. NC State is in the Final Four. Insane. Absolutely insane. Can you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe NC State also has the most Final Four losses in tournament history. Is that correct? I believe I heard that on the radio and I saw it on Twitter today. So
I do not know that off the top of my head. I appreciate the fact that you think that I know that off the top of my head, but I do not. And that is a very, very intriguing stat that I will be Googling after I stop talking here.
Of course. They have a really tough matchup, though, against Purdue. Davis, your national champion at the start of this tournament was Purdue. My national champion was UConn. Looks like both of us have an opportunity here to prove ourselves right. I think I stick more in the chalky group, so I won't jump up and down if I get this right. But Davis, you must feel a little good to see Purdue here, no?
100%. Look, it's a little sloppy the way that they've gotten in. I mean, the foul calls against Edey and the non-calls against him. I mean, it's tough to be a ref and be able to judge this guy, honestly. But I'm not saying I'm perfect and I knew that was going to happen, but honestly, through watching the Big Ten all year, I knew that this was the type of issue that referees and teams were going to have. And the guy shoots like 72% from the line. Like, he's going to make his free throws. This isn't a hack-a-shack. They don't want to foul him and get into foul trouble early. So, I think both these games this weekend are going to be very, very interesting because I think Burns might be the best matchup for Edey so far.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? So I think this is going to be a really good matchup for them, for NC State. And it's tough to look at it and say, hey, they're an 11 seed. They shouldn't even be there. If that guy on Virginia just made that last free throw in the ACC tournament, NC State wouldn't have had a chance to make that three to send it to overtime. It's a whole butterfly effect of things that led to this point. But NC State is probably playing the best basketball behind UConn in the land right now. I mean, they're playing really well, and I feel like you have to forget everything before I almost said Labor Day, everything before Leap Day. You have to forget all of that because this is a new team. And the closest game that they've played so far in this tournament has been against Oakland, which actually, funny enough, is the 14th seed that shocked the world against Kentucky. I mean, NC State just dominated Duke, a team that dominated them late in February or early in March this past, literally just a few weeks ago. So this NC State team is just something different and something so fun. I like them with the points here. I still think Purdue is going to be dancing still come Monday for the national championship.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I do lean Purdue here. And selfishly, I am hoping that we can get a UConn Purdue matchup just because battle of the heavyweights. I mean, Purdue has the potential to do what Virginia did versus UConn have the potential to go back to back. But Davis, this is a matchup that I also would not hate seeing Alabama and NC State. or another mismatch. This is a very good Final Four. We have 2 1 seeds, and then we have a huge Cinderella story and a team that shouldn't be here in Alabama. Let's get to that game in a second, but I do want to say let's give Edey his flowers. He had 40 points and 16 rebounds against Tennessee, who had Dalton Connect, who had 37 points, I believe. I think it was like 17 of 30 from the field or something like that. The dude is a certified baller. This was not any kind of bullshit year, whatever the hell you want to call it. This guy's legit. He'll probably get drafted. Who knows how high? But Edey is a beast, and him versus DJ Burns is going to be one hell of a matchup. One final thing before we move on. DJ Burns, did you see that he is getting scouted? Not scouted, but like there's NFL front offices that are like intrigued by him as a prospect for offensive line.
He's the next who is it? It's not Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez. It's the next Julius Peppers. He's the next Julius Peppers, dude. He's gonna go in and be a Pro Bowler someday. This is the exact type of pick the Eagles make in the 7th round. Jordan Mailata-esque.
Yeah, I know he's not SEC, but come on.
DJ Burns will be the Eagles' right tackle in 2025. That's going to be my prediction right there.
I'd love him to play right guard, honestly. He'd fit in very well at Stoutland University. But anyway, I mean, that game will be great. Alabama, UConn. Let's just give Alabama their flowers. I think a lot of people hate on them. I certainly did. I had them losing to Grand Canyon 100%. They have one of the worst defenses in the country. So, Davis, despite how terrible their defense is, how did they get here? How did they beat UNC?
It's the ugly way. It's the very ugly way of some people I won't name. My father hates this type of basketball where you're just going around and chucking up threes. And you know what? Alabama's really good at it. And props a little bit to their defense because their defense has been holding their own. They haven't been getting into foul trouble. They played a great game against North Carolina. Obviously, I mean, that first half was one of the most electric halves of basketball I've ever seen in my life.
It was awesome.
They were just going back and forth, knocking down their threes. And then North Carolina only scored 9 points in the first 10 minutes of the second half. So that's where Alabama you can be a little scary. And to be honest with you, I know the spread is 8.5 for Purdue against NC State, but Connecticut, it's going to be 11.5 against Alabama. I wish there was a prop like this somewhere. There'd probably be a prop on FanDuel or something, but I think that the UConn Alabama game will be the closest game out of these two games. I think Alabama can definitely hold their own. I think this over-under is definitely too low, too. I see UConn taking this game, but I don't think it's going to be as blowout-y as we've seen with some other games like UConn, Illinois. UConn went on a 30-0 run against Illinois. That is not possible. That is something that is insane. And Illinois continued to chuck up their threes. Now, Illinois is right there with Alabama on the top of offensive efficiency. But I trust is it Marcus Sears? I trust Mark Sears over almost anybody in this tournament right now because he is just locked down and he is making his shots at an unreal rate. When he is hot, he can beat any team.
I saw someone say that he is just like a souped up Jalen Brunson, and I just can't unsee it. Like
I see it for sure.
He is so good off the dribble. I mean, you just catch and shoot, obviously, but this guy, I mean, he's like a little zip car. I mean, he goes all over the freaking court and then just stops on a dime, hits a three, and he's like, okay, yeah, obviously, why wouldn't he hit that? Come on.
100%. And you're right that I, myself included, was not on the Alabama bandwagon.
No, because I forgot about they're big guys, dude. They have that Nelson kid is really good. I mean, they can all shoot the ball and score. They look like a team against UNC that, I mean, I had never seen this side of Alabama. And, you know, I don't share the same opinion that this game is going to be super close. I think that this game could be very reminiscent of, like you just said, the UConn game last week where, you know, they were up 3 on Illinois at the half and then they go on a 30-0 run. And it's like, what were we thinking? What were we thinking? By the way, that game never made me feel more like a Villanova fan and getting just pure PTSD flashbacks. So like when they beat Oklahoma by 40, stuff like that. Like this UConn team is the real freaking deal. And I heard Daniel Hurley talking in an interview this week where he was like, we're already thinking about next year and repeating. It's like, okay, these guys are sickos. They're sickos. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a Hurley
this isn't
fan,
going to
to be
stop.
honest with you. I'm not a Hurley fan. Going back real quick to the 30-0 run,
It's not surprising.
I'm sitting on the couch watching with my dad, having a little extracurricular activities, some beverages, and we're watching the TV, and I vividly remember we were in our basement, and I'm like, oh man, close game, 23-23. This is crazy. Turn the TV off. We turn the Phil's on, and then we're like, once Phil's over, hey, we turn it off. We'll go upstairs, watch, the start of the half, and we're just kind of shooting the shit about some golf stuff. And I look over and I'm like, wait a second. Is it 53-23 right now? Was it not 23-23 when we last looked at the
It
TV?
was one of those games.
And it was it was a perfect moment where when I said that, the screen popped up 30-0 run, and we were like, oh my God, that is never going to happen in March Madness, let alone an Elite Eight or maybe any college basketball game ever again. I shouldn't say college basketball because there's like
30-0 run.
Ethan, it was absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the way this Alabama team is playing right now, again, you have to forget about the past. You have to forget about the past and look at the now. They're playing really well and they're shooting really well. If they can shoot the way they're shooting right now, UConn they can be beatable.
You don't think UConn's going to be like, oh, remember how you guys are just terrible at defense? Let's just completely exploit that and, beat them by 20.
They should, but here's my point about it. 3 points is more than 2 points. So I think UConn's going to try to just demolish them in the paint, which I think they should.
Yeah.
But I think coach of Alabama, I think it's Nate Oates. Nate Oates knows what he's doing. 3 points is worth more than 2 points, and Alabama can shoot 3-pointer if they do it well. I would not be extremely shocked to see this game pretty close down the wire.
All right, Davis. So give me your picks here and now. Draw a line in the sand. Give me your national championship matchup and your champion.
Ethan, I have to stick with my heart. I am still gonna pick Chalky here. I've been doing it the whole time, and it's been working. Every single time I've picked Chalky. I picked some upsets. I called Duke last week. Just saying.
I made money off them.
They were gonna beat Houston, brother. But I'm still saying Chalky here. I'm gonna go Purdue against UConn, and I have to go with my heart. Ethan, I said this 2 weeks ago. Gonna pick Purdue. I just think Edey is something else. This Purdue team, they do have guards. Who are good, unlike what you said to me. And I think that they can do it. And I think that this UConn team can go down. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to take UConn with the 11.5 against Alabama. They're going to steamroll them. And then I think that I kind of want to pick NC State here against Purdue. I think there is a real chance that NC State can win this game. I don't know if I have the balls to do it, but do not be surprised if you see DJ Burns next Monday against whoever is in the national championship. But my national champion is still the Huskies. So we'll have to see.
You and all 30 million people who still have a bracket alive.
I mean, also, by the way, if I lose, if UConn loses, I actually win my bracket pool with my dad. So I'm kind of
nice. We're the only ones alive still in our buddies or Bachi Boys League. We're the only two who can win it. If UConn wins,
winner of that gets an appearance on this podcast.
Yes, exactly. And we're the only ones who can statistically win. If UConn wins, you win. If Purdue wins, I win.
Well, whoever wins will get a guest spot on the podcast.
Whoever comes in third. True professionals here. I mean,
We're great guys. Great guys here. Great guys. All right, let's go to the women's Final Four before we get on to college basketball. All right, Davis. Let's give the girls a flowers. I mean, LSU and Iowa last night was awesome. Awesome game. I saw that the ratings for it beat out like 4 of the 5 NBA Finals games last year. Like every single World Series game last year, like 12.3 million people watched it. And also, let's shout out NC State and UConn for getting a men's team and a women's team into the Final Four. I mean, crazy that this is the first time 2 schools have ever done that. I feel like this should have happened. I don't know how strongly you've been paying attention to women's Final Four, women's college basketball the whole year, but how are you feeling about these 2 games?
Yeah, so I mean, I can't straight up tell you that I'm dialed, right? I'm
Mhm.
not extremely dialed, but I check my phone. I know what's up. I definitely try to stay a little bit aware of what's going on, especially come tournament time.
Yeah.
And this tournament has been the definition of chalky. You look at some of the favorites,
I mean,
especially in previous women's tournaments. That is definitely the way to make some money and get your bankroll going, is going chalky with the spreads of these big teams. Ethan, you think North Carolina is extremely dominant, or North Carolina? You think UConn is extremely dominant on the men's side? We haven't even started talking about South Carolina.
they're
South Carolina,
71-1 in their last 72 games.
South Carolina is unbeatable, and they will beat this North Carolina State team.
So, did
But
they lose in the national championship last year?
no,
No,
Iowa lost to LSU.
in the national championship last year,
hmm
and LSU won
I
the
think
national
LSU
championship.
beat South Carolina in the Final Four, if I
Oh,
remember
did
correctly.
they?
Yes, because that was a big rematch game of the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Iowa LSU,
Yep,
that was
I
last night.
remember.
That was what was getting hyped up because it was the rematch of the national championship, which obviously Caitlin Clark took down, and she hit every single one of her props. She scored over 40 points. I don't know if she had a triple double, but I'm pretty sure she was very close if she didn't. I think she actually may have had a triple
Okay,
double.
yeah. So Iowa beat South Carolina in the Final Four last
Oh,
year.
Iowa did. Iowa
Yes,
beat
and
them.
then LSU beat Iowa in the national championship.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go with South Carolina, even
Yep.
though, check my facts if
Dawn
I'm
Staley.
wrong. I believe South Carolina's only covered once actually in this March Madness,
Oh,
but
really?
they've been laying numbers like 42 and a half points, 27 and a half points. Like they've been laying some absurd
42.
numbers. They've been, dude. I don't know what the first game for their first game was spread wise, but some of these women's games can be extremely very volatile and different than the men's side. I mean,
Holy
we're
crap.
seeing
That's a
almost
lot of
30 on we're
points.
seeing almost 30 in the men's side sometimes. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with South Carolina there. And at the bottom here, we've got a Caitlin Clark specific revenge game. Caitlin Clark wanted to go to UConn, dreamt of going to UConn to be a women's
Really?
basketball player on their team, and they denied her. So this is another Caitlin Clark, just Mamba mentality. She's gonna take it
She's
down.
a Kobe girl, right?
Correct. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I think she's
She's
just
a
going to
killer.
absolutely dominate again. She's going to kill the books with props, all the sports books with props again. It's
By the
not
way,
legal in
Paige
Pennsylvania.
Buchers, beast. All right.
Baller,
Yeah.
baller, but no
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark.
That
I
guy
don't.
Rick on Twitter saw it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Paige
Gary,
Buchers is a
Gary.
beast. Yeah, Gary. I'm sorry. Yeah, shout out Gary.
Yeah,
But or maybe
quick,
not.
quick story time that this guy Gary put something on Twitter like 11 years ago saying that Paige Buchers is going to be the next star in the WNBA or college basketball, and she was only what
In
11
sixth grade. She was in
or
sixth grade.
yeah, six. Like, how do you do that? I think
And
we should
someone
just start.
quote tweeted and said, I don't know whether to be think you're a genius or put you on a list, Gary. And I'm honestly could not agree more.
I might reach out to Gary and ask him for like a fortune teller, like a little session there, because
Like,
I
do you know
need
what
whatever
huddle
Gary's.
is? And if he doesn't know, send him to jail.
Anyway, I'm taking Iowa in this. I'm
Yeah.
taking Iowa and South Carolina, but I don't think Iowa. I don't know if any team in this in women's basketball is going to be able to beat South Carolina, as they're unbeatable this year, and I think they remain unbeatable and will take down the title.
Yeah, I don't follow women's basketball closely, so I'm gonna go storylines here. All right, I think that Caitlin Clark does it. She wins the national championship this year and takes down South Carolina while doing it. That may be very hard, and I might not know what I'm talking about because South Carolina is that good. But Caitlin Clark, I mean, she is the women's athlete right now, and I mean, for her to leave college sports with a championship, that would be the cherry on top. And I mean, that would propel her like God knows how far into her professional career and whatever.
My
But who
quick
knows?
question for you before we wrap up the women's side here and move on to our next
Hmm.
topic. Caitlin Clark was apparently offered $5 million to go play in the Big Three, Ice
Oh
Cube
yeah.
Basketball League. Do you think that's like do you think that's like something that she should consider? Like, honestly, it's $5 million. Like, she could either probably
Oh,
revolutionize the WNBA, which I'm I'm just gonna
I
put it
know.
out there. We've heard
People,
that a few times, and it hasn't happened. And Caitlin Clark could be the one to do it. But
yeah,
do you think she takes her bag and plays in the WNBA, or do you think it's like
yeah.
she could get embarrassed by some of these guys, and she should just go to the WNBA and absolutely cook and try to build a dynasty and hopefully actually be the face of the league for years to
That would
come?
be the hope. And like I know there's people on Twitter trying to clown her and all this stuff, which I think is a little much because yes, the WNBA salary isn't a lot and it's not the NBA salary for sure. But you don't think that Nike isn't going to be throwing a sponsorship bag at this girl? Like she is going to get so many off-court things, off off sponsorships, everything. Like Iowa, the university is going to build a shrine to her, regardless of whether she wins a national title for her. So, like, I mean, honestly, Davis, I think that she probably heard that $5 million offer. And was like, I mean, I don't know. Like, come on. And
She
someone was like,
could use it
relax,
as
relax.
leverage.
Nike is going to get you. All right. Nike's going to
Yeah.
get you. Like, Foot Locker's going to get you. Gatorade's going to get you. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be on State Farm for the next 15 years. Like, don't worry about it.
She
So, I
should
mean,
use it as leverage, honestly.
for
Be like,
sure.
hey, yo, they're offering me 5 million. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I need a pay raise over here at
By the way,
Nike.
the
Or
big three, people are laughing about it, but if she could go like cross up some old NBA dudes, like that would be amazing. Some guys just roasting the fuck out of their friends on TikTok or whatever, being like, "Look, he got crossed up by Caitlin Clark." By the way, Caitlin Clark is like that, so that's not related to this either. But these NBA guys would take it like that.
100%. This is no Brittany Griner, DeMarcus Cousins debate here. That was DeMarcus Cousins in his prime. That was right when DeMarcus Cousins got traded to the Pelicans, and we were like, "Yo, we
Dude,
seriously gonna see Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins with each other, the 1-2 combo in New
prime
Orleans?"
DeMarcus Cousins on the Pelicans with AD. The world has never seen a big man like that.
No. You want to know? Do you know? I'll go back and throw you into a loop in history and
Oh
tell
yeah.
you nothing was ever better. I just have vivid memories of waking up before school. I'd wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, turn on Sports Center when I was like
Oh
in
yeah.
middle school, right? I mean, like every
When I
kid
woke
did, or
up, yeah.
only like geeks like me and you probably. But
That's it.
I remember turning it on, and I feel like every other night it was, oh, Kevin Love dropped 40 and 20 again.
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
Love, 30 points and 25
Dude,
rebounds. Like
skinhead Kevin Love was the
Kevin Love with Minnesota was a dog.
dude, he was a
Dog.
demon. Like UCLA Kevin Love, one of the best college players of all time. You kidding me? James Naismith dreamt of him in a lab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
All right.
Kareem and Kevin Love.
Yeah, seriously. All right, we could go off on these tangents all night, which is usually what we do off camera, but let's stick to the script, obviously. Davis, like I mentioned at the top of the show, it's baseball season. Opening day was last Friday. There's some weather stuff. It was tough to remember. But right before we start recording this, by the way, I'm really glad we took this day break onto Tuesday because Bryce Harper just became him. So through his first 3 games, no home runs, no RBIs, no hits, nothing. Tonight, this man has 3 home runs. And on his 3rd home run, he has a grand slam. This man, something else. He really is something else, Davis. Also, I'm just so happy that he's starting a season healthy with us again. It's been a couple years, it feels like. I don't know when the last time he did it was, but I'm glad that he's going to get his groove on early and that he can finally, restake his claims to the MVP. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, I was not able to watch this Phillies game, so I missed all of this. But I did get a notification that he had 2 home runs on the night, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And right when I get home from work, I get a text from Ethan saying, yo, you just see that? Now, I actually had just turned on the Phillies game, and it was literally Bryce Harper in the dugout by himself, and then it cut to commercial. And I was like, no. I was like, what just happened? He was like, dude, he just hit a grand slam for his 3rd homer. I was like, what? No way. I mean, like, let's be honest. Baseball's a really weird sport, and guys just become forgettable like week after week because maybe they go over.
It's hard to know
under a
who's
slump.
a staying name.
we're never going to see LeBron go 0 for 10 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3 with 0 points.
Should we see what his field goal attempts are tonight? Because they're losing to the Raptors.
Oh, there are no way. Raptors lost 10 straight. Okay. Anyway, that's going to be an ugly loss for them.
Never mind. I'm sorry. Lakers won.
Lakers won. All right.
Yeah,
did Bryce Harper hit any homers in that game? Because he may have. No, baseball's a weird sport. You're going to see guys go into these major slumps and just come out of them in one night. Literally, it's just the way you're seeing the ball. And let's not forget, we're still in the first week of April here, so
for sure.
We're seeing Mookie Betts go crazy right now.
You're right. Got to keep this in mind.
Most of these Dodgers are going crazy right now. We're seeing Juan Soto go crazy. I bet you $10 both of them will go. Mookie Betts and Juan Soto will go in a stretch similar to where Harper is at this year. The nice thing about Soto is that he walks a lot, sees the ball really well anyway, even if he's not hitting it. It's just baseball, Ethan. And I would love to say I know the feeling. My highest level of baseball was JV high school baseball.
I didn't even get that far.
Yikes!
Yikes! Indeed,
it's baseball. It's such a different sport. So mental.
Yeah. I say you throw up the standings because I think you're right, Davis. This is a game of runs, quite literally. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be the heavy favorite, I think. Just picking their division because that division is going to be tough for the record. But they are really freaking good, and I think Mookie Betts and them are going to be tough. But the Yankees, man, I think the Yankees are for real. Just like watching Juan Soto, I just get the vibe that there was something going on in San Diego last year. Still hasn't really come out. I don't know what it was. Maybe bad culture, too many superstars there. Who knows? But I feel like he's back on his Nationals stuff. Like he's back in a good spot. Like he's got that clean shave going every game. You know what I mean? And when you're rocking the pinstripes, you can hate the evil empire as much as you want, but when you're playing well in a Yankees uniform, I bet there's literally no feeling like that on planet Earth. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, you're basically wearing what seems to be like a god's jersey when you put on.
You're literally wearing the tunic that Jesus wears at the Last Supper with the red vest. That's literally what that comparison is.
Yeah, 100%. And some early takes on some of these standings and some of these teams.
I'll just unnecessarily hot takes. Let's do it.
I'll run them down real quick. Obviously, again, the Yankees, fantastic series against the Astros. And then we'll go to the Astros. Terrible series against the Yankees, and then they throw a no-hitter last night. Pretty wild. That's baseball.
Astros.
That's baseball. That's baseball. You got to respect a no-hitter, though. The Orioles are playing great, have had some weird games. They actually helped me out because I had a -1.5 last night. They were down by 1, or they were tied going into the bottom of the ninth. So the only way I would have been able to hit that bet was if a 2-run home run happened. And guess what happened? A 2-run home run. That was great. Nice. Atlanta kind of rocked the Phillies. This weekend. We won on Sunday, but Miami.
I felt like they swept us still.
Some of the teams that we were expecting or maybe weren't expecting to not play well. Miami, I was very low on them coming into the year. But the Mets, I mean, getting swept by the Tigers, or getting swept, was it the Tigers? No, it was
by the Brewers.
By the Brewers, and then losing to the Tigers.
And the Brewers disrespected the crap out of them every single game. By the way, shout out Rhys Hoskins. Yeah, shout out Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins is back. We're seeing the Rockies, the Athletics, and the Chicago White Sox down here at the bottom. Chicago White Sox did not get past first base until yesterday. I kid you not,
Robert.
The Chicago White Sox did not get past first base until yesterday. They went 4 games without getting past first base, Ethan. Unbelievable. Pirates are 5-0. The Buccos.
Hold on. They did this last year.
They did do this last year, but I'm on it. Ethan, one of my favorite bets right now, Pirates take down the NL Central. This division's wide open.
To win this division?
You can still find this at 7 to 1.
All 5 of these teams could win this division.
I'm out on St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah, I've been out on St. Louis.
They're bad?
No, they're not bad. I mean, they have Nolan Arenado. They still have Goldschmidt, but
yeah,
I've never been a fan of their pitching. I do think the locker room loss of Wainwright and Molina are going to be kind of big on them this year. I mean,
For
it's the first
sure. I
time
forgot
either of
about
these
that.
guys have been here since probably we were born. Like, you know
So
what I
they're
mean?
both gone?
Yeah, they both retired last year. So
Okay.
that's
Wow.
definitely going to be interesting for them. Another team at the
I
top, the
like Chicago.
Detroit Tigers, like we talked about.
Yeah.
And like you said, Ethan, the Los Angeles Dodgers are on a freight train right now. One of my favorite trends in baseball right now. Their team total, like a lot of these good teams, their team total runs per game on like DraftKings or whatever, it's 4.5. They've gone over that number in all 7 games. So keep an eye on that. I've been betting it these past few games and it's been working for me.
Speaking of betting, why don't you throw up the World Series odds so we can look at this from a value standpoint?
Absolutely. We're seeing the Dodgers right there at the top.
Oh, yeah. I mean, them and the Braves are going to be the heavy picks. But let me ask you this. Why the hell are the Braves so high up on this list? And not just as a Phillies fan, let's answer this. Let's answer this as baseball fans because, like, they have lost to the Phillies in 2 straight postseasons. That has to count for something because they have been favorites in betting the last 2 years. And honestly, they haven't really had any inkling of them getting better besides – keeping the same lineup and trimming the edges a little bit.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing for the Dodgers. They just lost to Arizona last year, and they just lost to the Mets the year before. I mean, or was it the Mets? Who did they lose to the year before? It was the Mets, I think.
Padres.
Padres. Yeah, Padres. That's who it was. Ethan, the Braves are better than the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Atlanta Braves are better than the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think the media and everybody's getting a little caught up on this 1-2-3 that LA has, but their pitching is nowhere near where the Braves is at. And the Braves have a better 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000%. And when you're seeing Jared Kelenic as the Braves 9 hitter hits over 700 in the series against the Phillies, I'm telling you, we were both on it. Jared Kelenic is going to be a stud for Atlanta, and he's batting 9.
Why did the Mariners trade him?
New scenery. He just wasn't him last year.
But he only spent like 1 full season with them, didn't he?
I'm going to pull out my baseball nerd, but my rebuttal would be, why did the Giants just DFA Joey Bart, a guy who they just drafted number 2 overall in 2018? I don't know. They never gave him a chance. That's just what baseball is sometimes. It's unfortunate. But I will tell you, the Atlanta Braves are better than the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm not saying they're going to have a better record at the end of the year. I'm just saying that they're a better team. And I think that these odds should be flipped if it were straight analytical, statistical. Like, they want people to bet on the Dodgers. I truly believe that. That is why they are on top.
That makes sense. And then let me ask about an AL team that I think should be getting a little bit more love. And it's also a team that had a change in ownership this offseason, and that is the Baltimore Orioles. How are you feeling about them? I know we've talked about Adley a lot.
Completely agree. Yeah, I put them on top of the AL right now. I know how.
Does a change in ownership matter?
Absolutely. They're definitely going to be swiping the credit card come August and July this year for the first time. Because they come out and said they want to start spending some money. The ownership changed, and who'd they get? Corbin Burns, and he's been fantastic so far. So
nice.
I think the Orioles are definitely a good value play here, especially to win the American League. I mean, dude, their lineup is filthy. You've got Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson. You're going to get Jackson Holliday at some point this year. He was just drafted number 1 overall.
So freaking good.
I mean, this team is insane.
So good.
And you're getting some other random people that, like, you're getting Jordan Westberg, a guy that you probably don't even know, or most people don't know.
Is that the third baseman?
He's been a top prospect for third baseman for a few years.
Yeah.
You're going to know his name pretty soon. And many other people are too, because the Orioles.
He's so good. They made Jackson Holliday a second baseman.
Yes, the Orioles, all these guys are going to be national media studs pretty soon.
I already have Gunnar Henderson ripping like homers already.
100%.
And then also Davis, the team I want to throw in here, and that's the defending champion, the Texas Rangers. I mean, I know they just lost Josh Jung for the year, or not the year. I think he just broke his wrist or something. So hopefully he'll be back in the middle of the summer. But this team is loaded, like loaded. Adolis Garcia is their star, and he has not slowed down since the last postseason, still smashing homers. They have DeGrom and Scherzer on the mend coming up soon. And then they also have one of the deepest farm systems in baseball right now. They have so many prospects that they can just plug and play. I saw they called up some first baseman who's just amazing that can take Josh Jung's spot. Will be all right. I think Josh Carter is one of the guys, Wyatt Langford. They are so young and promising for a defending champion, in my opinion.
100%. The one thing I just can't get behind on them is their pitching. It's pretty easy to win.
Scherzer and DeGrom saved the day?
I can't get on board with Scherzer at all.
What about Tyler Colley?
Can't get on board. I mean, one of their best pitchers right now is Dane Dunning, and that's an issue when Dane Dunning's one of your better pitchers on your roster throwing for you.
What's his name? Gray.
John Gray. Yeah. And they have Nathan Eovaldi too. I mean,
whoa. Don't not hate on Nathan Eovaldi. That guy shoves.
I'm not hating on him just yet, but when you look at this straight pitching rotation, you wouldn't be thinking that this team's 15-1 to win the World Series. And then you look at the lineup and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Yep. Corey Seager, Aroldis Garcia, Wyatt Langford, the guy who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year right now, which I would definitely take a look at. He's plus 240. Wyatt Langford. People are saying he's the next Mike Trout, and I believe him. I'm dead serious.
That's what I'm saying. That
he's going to be a stud.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rangers are a decent value play, but if you wanted me to move a little bit more down the list on the AL side of things, I'd actually look more at the Twins. I think they have the pitching that they're going to win the division. Okay, I think they're going to win the AL Central.
I mean, that division sucks.
Correct. So they're going to make the playoffs. They have one of the better bullpens in all of the league. They have a decent lineup that when healthy, they can be really good.
Carlos Correa.
I want to see Byron Buxton at least play 135 games, though.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
100%. But it could.
But he is like the most underrated player in baseball. Like he's been wearing that crown for 5 years now. This guy in MLB The Show every single year is like the best player everyone ever plays with. His card's insane. This guy, if he makes it to the postseason, I'm actually with you on this one. If he's healthy, though, that's the only asterisk.
For sure. And it's not like if you get 17, I'm not out here hammering 17-1 right now because I don't think it's going to get much better. But I don't know, man. I think this Twins team does have some fire in them. Their pitching is getting much better too. They have Joe Ryan, who was a top prospect a few years ago. He's pitching really well for him. And Pablo Lopez, the guy who was in the Cy Young race last year, who was maybe one of the better at-home pitchers in the AL. He's been fantastic for him. And I don't know.
Also, 10 out of 10 pitcher named Pablo Lopez.
100%. And he was stuck in Miami for years before this.
Get that man to Minnesota, that's for sure.
Yeah. But there's not a ton of value plays. I'm like running down on here where I'm like,
I was going to ask you, what about the defending National League champion Diamondbacks?
I think I'm out on them. Similar issue. I'm not super in on their pitching. I mean, I like Gallen. Look, Gallen's one of the better pitchers in the National League, but he had his issues last year pitching on the road. He could not pitch on the road at all.
He was not the reason they won that series against the Phillies. That's for sure.
Correct. And they just brought in Jordan Montgomery, a guy who can definitely help them out as a lefty arm. But you could see in baseball terms how streaky, like the Diamondbacks are the definition of streaky. They were at a point where they didn't think they were going to make the wild card last year in August and September. And then they end up being the National League champions, and they won in a game 7. Like that's just baseball sometimes. But I think the American leagues where you got to look for value plays instead of the NL because of these two top dogs, Dodgers and the Braves.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, what about a team at the bottom? I mean, just humor me here, but the Pirates, I mean, they're 5-0. I know that O'Neal Cruz getting hurt last year probably stunted their growth a little bit. He's healthy again. I don't know if they can win the World Series, but come on.
Agreed. Yeah, I like the Pirates. But again, even if they win the series, let's imagine or win the division, they're probably going to be the 3 seed behind the Dodgers and the Braves, and then they'll probably have to go up against the Phillies. You know what I mean? Like if the Phillies were to get the 4. So I don't know. I'm kind of out on them to win the World Series. I like them to win the division though at the moment. If you had just the ballpark an AL team, I mean the Tigers look good right now.
Why the Tigers?
Same thing. They're young. They're bringing up a lot of guys. They have decent pitching as well, but I mean, I can't go much further down below the Twins and the Mariners. I think the Mariners are a good team, by the way. I do think the Mariners are a good team. So I think as of right now, I'm sticking at these top 10, 9-ish teams on this list, and I would give you a 95% chance it's going to be one of those top 9 teams. Even though baseball is really weird, one of those teams is going to win the World Series, and that's my just straight prediction. Only five games into the regular season, we've got a lot of baseball.
Oh yeah, we're totally gonna be so wrong about this stuff, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just fun to speculate. All right, before we do our little outro shit, Davis, the Sixers beat the Thunder tonight with Joel Embiid.
Wow.
Joel Embiid finished with 24 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 12 for 12 from the line, and they got the W against the Thunder. Oubre had 25 points as well, 4 for 7 from 3. Did a lot of good things. Campaign had 10 points and 10 rebounds in the starting lineup. So that's a Sixers W for you at the beginning of April. Any thoughts?
Ethan, I haven't watched literally a dribble of NBA basketball probably since January. Maybe
me neither. Before I started watching that game before we started this podcast.
NBA basketball doesn't start until early April, which it's early April. So begin.
So we feeling good about Embiid being back? Because it was kind of a surprise him coming back this quickly. Like,
I guess I feel better about him coming back than how the Flyers are looking right now. But
yeah, Flyers look bad.
Talk about that later. Thought that Russian guy was going to help us in goal. That didn't work.
I mean, he did really well last night. I was watching the game.
He did.
That was not his fault. I mean, I swear every time they get in overtime, they lose like within 30 seconds. They can't ever like the last time they won in overtime was the game we went to. I swear to God.
I know. I agree.
That was terrible. All right, Davis. Before we get out of here, there is one final thing going on this weekend. One final thing. It's WrestleMania. Got one question for you though. Is Cody gonna finish the story? Really finish the story?
Ethan, as the top WrestleMania wrestling expert, analyst, correspondent.
I'm a mark. Yep, I'm a mark.
My hot take: Ethan Shue finishes his story. Cody Rhodes does not.
I mean, I already finished my story. I have the tickets. They're booked.
No.
The story will be finished.
No, there's not
Cody Rhodes finish his story against Roman Reigns.
I don't think you finish your story until you see the set.
Yeah.
When
I'll take a picture.
When you see the set, oh my God, you're gonna go.
I've already seen pictures of it, but like just to walk into it and see it, and like, you know, I'm a big Cody guy, but I gotta acknowledge my tribal chief as well. Gotta show him some love when I walk in. But I'm a Cody crybaby at heart, just like The Rock says.
I don't know anything that you're saying right now. This is like different language, but
Cody Rhodes is gonna win the undisputed WWE Championship this Sunday.
Okay, last thing. If you had to give an odds, just to put it in my perspective and some of the viewers, odds Cody Rhodes finishes his story. Are you taking like minus 800?
No, Cody finishing his story and winning the championship is probably like minus 115. It's a pick'em right now.
Really?
It's a pick'em right now.
You think Roman Reigns keeps it then?
Roman's been champion for 3 years, my friend. But if he holds the title till September, he is the longest champion in the longest reigning champion in the last like 30 years.
But the writers don't want that. The writers don't want that.
But it's not about what the writers want. It's what the fans don't or won't want. You know what I mean?
I hope Cody and Roman Reigns, my biggest beef with wrestling is that it's predetermined, as Ethan says.
Which it is.
I hope that they just go off script and just start wailing at each other. I think that would be amazing. That's the best way for
The Rock beat up a referee last night for no reason. So there's a chance of that.
Wow. That guy's our leader, our WWE leader right now.
That's damn right, Davis. That's damn right. So if you see it this weekend and Roman wins, the city of Philadelphia will combust like an atom bomb. I swear. People will lose their minds. But I will be in the house on Sunday night with our Bachi correspondent, Amir. So stay tuned. Maybe something will be popping up.
We'll talk about it on our Monday podcast this coming Monday.
I love it. All right, Davis, before we get out of here, March Madness is over pretty much. I know Final Four is around the corner, but the madness of March is over. So I just want to take this moment to just rest in peace to 2024 March Madness.
It's a shame. There's always next year. I can't believe it's over already.
There is always next year.
There's always next year. But you know what?
Yep.
I know most people will say it's boring. Ethan, baseball's back. I love it. My heart is full. Again, finally, baseball's back. I love baseball.
Yeah, we're here. That's right. We're here. I'm ready for baseball. The smell in the air, the spring, the warm weather. We need to go catch a game at the bank soon with the boys. I'm ready.
Come beginning of June, we'll be like, who cares? Season's over.
The only thing on my mind is WrestleMania this Sunday. But yeah, I'm so excited. All right, before we get out of here, like, subscribe, share, send it to your friends, send it in your group chat. Tell your friends how stupid we are. Just get the word out about the Bachi Boys. That's all we need. We love you guys. Peace out.